Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about donuts. Now, if you're enjoying the show and want to consume this podcast and all my other podcasts without the ads, check the links in the show notes because for just $3 a month on Patreon, you can get ad-free versions of all three of my podcasts, Fun Facts Daily, Who Arted, and Art Smart. That's hundreds of episodes for just a few cents a day. Now, as always, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. Legend has it, during the dark and difficult days of World War I, a dedicated group of brave volunteers used standard-issue military helmets to fry up fresh donuts right on the front lines in order to comfort soldiers. Historical anecdotes claim these courageous individuals risked everything to deliver a warm taste of home to the trenches. What do you think? Were donuts really fried up in helmets and served in the trenches during the Great War? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is torus. That's Torus. A torus is a mathematical and geometric term used to describe a three-dimensional surface generated by revolving a circle around an axis that rests in the same plane as the circle but does not touch it. If you're trying to picture this complex spatial concept, just imagine a perfectly symmetrical hollow ring. In the culinary world, this geometric configuration is what gives our classic ring donut its iconic shape. The etymology of the word torus traces its roots back to ancient Rome. It originates from the Latin word torus, which originally referred to a round swelling, a bulge, a cushion, or a raised ornamental molding found at the base of architectural columns. Over the centuries, mathematicians adopted this architectural term to describe circular, ring-shaped structures in geometry. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about donuts. Number 1. Ever wonder why donuts have a hole in the middle? It all started with a teenage sailor who wanted a better snack for his time at sea. The classic ring-shaped donut was officially born on the high seas. In 1847, a 16-year-old American cabin boy named Hansen Gregory was deeply frustrated by the soggy, undercooked centers of the fried dough his mother prepared for his sea voyages. To solve the problem, he used the top of a tin pepper box to punch a clean hole right through the middle of the raw dough before frying it. This allowed the entire pastry to cook evenly in the boiling oil, preventing the center from remaining raw and gooey. His shipmates loved the change, and it took off from there. Before Gregory's invention, bakers struggled to get the middle of dense dough fully cooked without burning the outer edges. By removing the center entirely, the hot oil could contact more surface area and fry the donut more uniformly inside and out. Gregory later proudly shared his origin story with newspapers, forever cementing his legacy in culinary history. Number 2. Some chefs would tell you the key to making light and fluffy donuts is using mashed potatoes. In 1940, two brothers named Al and Bob Pelton created a unique donut recipe made from mashed potatoes. Bob had spent time serving as a baker in the United States Navy, where he was exposed to traditional German potato-based holiday fritters called Spudnuts. Inspired by this old-world technique, the brothers experimented with mixing real mashed potatoes into the traditional sweet dough to launch a brand new style of American pastry. They called their creation Spudnuts. It may sound a little strange, but you can't argue with the results. Food scientists will tell you that potato starches absorb and hold moisture much more effectively than traditional grain flours. The potato flour keeps the interior of the donut remarkably soft while allowing the exterior to crisp up beautifully. This results in a pastry that stays fresh significantly longer than standard wheat-based alternatives. The potato-based donuts were an overnight sensation, and the brothers launched a massive baking empire. To expand their business, they developed a specialized dry mix using dehydrated potato flour that could be safely shipped to franchisees nationwide. By the 1960s, Spudnuts grew to more than 600 locations across North America, churning out hundreds of thousands of potato donuts every day. While the original franchise dissolved decades ago after the Peltons retired, there are still a few independent Spudnuts locations still around today, and many other artisanal bakers still use this vintage secret method to create the ultimate fluffy donut. Number 3. The famous pop culture stereotype of police officers loving donut shops actually began out of practical safety concerns. During the 1940s and 50s, police departments began shifting away from traditional foot patrols and started utilizing motorized patrol cars to cover larger city areas at night. This change meant that officers working the graveyard shift needed safe, well-lit places to park, fill out paperwork, and grab a quick snack. At the time, small local donut shops were among the very few businesses open 24 hours a day because they needed to prepare for the morning rush. The owners of these shops warmly welcomed the late-night officers because their presence provided excellent security during the quiet, vulnerable overnight hours. It created a perfect natural partnership where both parties felt significantly safer and more supported in the middle of the night. This mutually beneficial relationship quickly fostered a strong, positive bond between local business owners and the police officers protecting their neighborhoods. Officers received a warm place to rest and a quick boost of caffeine, while the bakeries enjoyed protection from potential late-night crime. Over time, television shows and movies began depicting this regular late-night routine, permanently cementing the classic trope into popular culture. Number 4. Canada actually eats more donuts per capita than the US, or any other country for that matter. While many people assume the United States is the primary consumer of donuts, Canada actually holds the official title for the most donuts per capita. Canadians purchase tens of millions of donuts every year. It's a beloved staple and a part of the national culture. They have about 5 times more donut stores per person than America. A lot of this massive donut consumption can be attributed to the immense popularity of the Tim Hortons restaurant chain. Founded by the famous hockey player in 1964, the brand quickly became a cultural touchstone integrated into daily Canadian life. Meeting up for a quick coffee and a donut is a regular social ritual for millions of Canadians every single morning. And our 5th and final fun fact for today. Scientists discovered a massive, glowing cosmic structure in deep space that really resembles a glazed donut. In 2019, an international team of astrophysicists captured the very first direct image of a supermassive black hole located in the distant M87 galaxy. When the historic image was released to the public, millions of people instantly noticed its striking resemblance to a glowing frosted donut. The image had a dark central shadow surrounded by a vibrant, asymmetric ring of superheated cosmic gas and dust. This orange, circular glow quickly captured the imagination of space enthusiasts and pastry lovers alike. Even the scientists acknowledged the uncanny structural similarities to a donut. NASA scientists actually frequently used a donut analogy to help explain the complex physics of the black hole's accretion disk to the general public. It just goes to show, no matter how far we peer into the universe, we can always find some familiar connection to smile about. Now for some news you can use. If you ever find yourself with a box of day-old donuts that have gone a bit dry and stiff, you don't have to throw them away. You can easily revive a stale donut using your microwave. Just place the donut on a microwave-safe plate, cover it with a slightly damp paper towel, and microwave it for about 10 to 15 seconds. The heat and moisture will instantly reactivate the starches, restoring the soft texture and making the glaze warm and melty again. So here's a little bit of the kitchen science behind it. As donuts sit out, they experience a process called starch retrogradation, where water leaves the starch molecules, causing the bread network to crystallize and harden. The microwave rapidly heats the remaining water molecules, while the damp paper towel introduces gentle steam to the environment. This combined action breaks up the rigid crystalline structure of the stale bread, giving the gluten network its flexible, fluffy structure back, at least for a little while. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, did volunteers actually fry donuts in military helmets on the battlefields of World War I? It sounds like a bunch of old soldiers telling tall tales, but this one is 100% fact. The legendary so-called donut lassies of the Salvation Army did exactly that. In 1917, these brave women went to France wanting to provide home-cooked comfort to soldiers, but they had very limited baking equipment available in the muddy trenches. While they may have been short on supplies, they were big on resourcefulness. They utilized whatever tools they could find, including empty tin cans, shell casings, and standard military helmets to fry dough over open fires. The fresh, hot donuts were a massive hit, providing essential calories, a profound emotional boost, and a vital sense of comfort to the exhausted soldiers. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about donuts with me today. Be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.